MMA Junkie Radio is here at SEICon in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotel, and we're just bringing in star after star. Misha Tate just left, and now we got UFC middleweight Chris Curtis joining us here on the program. Chris, you a light heavyweight now, or what? What's going on here? And actually, it's a jacked light heavyweight. I'm not bagging. I'm not bagging because I'm in no position to bag. But yeah, I mean, like you are.
That's the fun thing about being injured, man. I couldn't really train for like 14 weeks, so whatever. So all I could do was like smoke meats and lift weights, and like holy hell, man, I got pretty big. I'm like 2.8. I was at 218 for a little bit. So like I tell people, told you once you're 35, once you hit 35, you get into two things: World War II history and smoked meats. I was already a World War II guy, so I started smoking meats, and like at one point, I'm just lifting weights, smoking 2 pounds of red meat a day. And like we went too far in one direction. I was like 218 one day. I was like, holy hell, what am I doing? So I had to cut back a little bit.
Tip us off here. You were saying that you made a choice from choice to prime.
Dude, yeah,
give us some of these tips that you've learned along the way.
So I was never like well off. I was always okay growing up. Like my mom wasn't really a big like steak person. And then we weren't rich. So like I've always grown up with like choice and select. And then I discovered prime. And now I'm like, oh, and then I realized I'm in a higher tax bracket. So now we're buying prime cuts like every day of the week. And then I've been afraid to check my bank statement for a while because I was like, how much money am I spending on like, I'm really smoking like 2 pounds of meat a day. At one point, I wake up in the morning, like turn the smoker on before I went to practice, everything. And yeah, man, we went way too far down that rabbit hole.
Wow.
So now I'm like 212 on my way back down. But yeah, it got weird for a little bit.
At one point, you had entertained, this was before the injury, maybe even 170. You used to get asked about it a lot. And then, you know, we all left you alone. But your future's still at middleweight or what? And when can you come back? Because update us on the injury.
Injury-wise, I just did Monday. We had some more testing. I'm a lot better than I was. We've had lots of improvements. I still have like a differential between legs and strength-wise. But they're kind of thinking that may just be where I am now. Like I'm missing part of my hamstring. It's just gone, despawned. It's gone forever. So that may be my new normal. So I'm really hoping.
Had to be detached? Or?
It's so you've got like 3 parts of your hamstring. Yeah. So the inside part has 2 attachment heads. One of those heads just despawned forever. It's just never to be seen again. It just obliterated in the injury. It's just gone. That's fine. Like you're like, you know what? That's just life. You have like half of that hamstring now. So it is what it is. I feel good. I've been back to training. Last week was my first full week of training. We've done the same thing this week. I'm back to wrestling. I'm back to sparring, everything else. So, you know, this may just be my new normal. Forget it. Yeah.
Here's the good news. And you probably already know this. Your boy, Sean Strickland, he never rebuilt his leg to be the size of the other one. Here's why I know this. Because he had the same exact injury I did, which was a torn patellar tendon. It's rare, but I've noticed that one of his legs isn't as big as the other one.
Did you also hit a beer truck?
He's reached no, a dog took me down at a military base, so it's not.
Sean was hit by a beer truck, but I maintain he hit that beer truck. I've seen Sean on a bike. Like I maintain he did it.
Well, but look, he obviously came back, rehabbed it, and became a world champion. So you can definitely do that. But as you were talking about, I was thinking, wow, that's a similar injury to one of his best friends.
Yeah, I feel I didn't know that. That's crazy. But I feel great. I'm back to training. I feel good. I'm really thankful to be in the UFC right now because they have been on it with my physical therapy and my S&C. So I've been in there 3-4 days a week every day since I could walk on my own. And I feel great. I feel strong. I feel healthy. I'm back to training. So I'm hoping I can be back. I really want to fight in October. I want to fight 2 more times this year.
Or Salt Lake City?
Probably Salt Lake. Like, I'm not going to be like a little bit nervous about leaving the country with like my first fight back, like off after like one leg falling off. But I would love to fight Salt Lake. I would love to fight Salt Lake. I love that. So like, hopefully I can do that. I want to fight 2 more times this year before it's all over. If I can maintain my 4 fights a year, I'm happy. So, fingers crossed.
Chris, I feel like in interviewing you, we've gone through different phases. Early on, I feel like maybe the UFC said, hey, Chris, this is who we think you would match up well against. This is who we have for you. I feel like you've graduated to a point in your career where you could say, this is what I want. If you have that conversation, what is it that you want? Or is there anybody out there in particular, a location? Because I think you've earned that at this point.
Thank you, but I'm still a guy. I'll fight whoever, man. That's I think that's why the UFC kind of likes me still. Is that if you have a fight, I'll probably take it. Like if I can make it, if I can schedule it in, I'll take it. But it is kind of cool though, because I do kind of get more wiggle room, like being able to ask for stuff. Personally, they already know I want to fight Paulo Costa. I think that's a fun fight. I think that's a slobber knocker. That'd be really fun. Nothing against Paulo Costa. I like Paulo Costa. But I feel like honestly, I should have won the last fight, and the plan was okay.
Gutsy performance, bro.
I thought I won it. Most of the world thought I won it, but one of the judges was clearly high, and then the other one, got swayed for the last 10 seconds. Now I don't remember what that was. What's the judge that like? Well, yeah, what was the judge that scored it like 4 rounds to 1? Like that guy was Conley. That you are high. Like never judge again. Like you were terrible. That dude was like calling weird stuff all night. Like yeah, so that guy, I don't discourage that. The rest of the world thought I won it. I thought I won it, but unfortunately, you can't control the judges, and you can't finish everybody every time. But I thought I would be inside the top 10. Didn't get it. Let me fight Costa. Like, give me another shot at the top 10. I always jump at you guys need a fight. I am the guy that jumps in. Like, let me have Costa. I think it'd be really fun.
I like the Costa matchup. I think that's great. You said you like him. And
I like Costa. He's a funny dude. He's a nice guy.
But to fight him, do you think you might have to change that mentality a little bit? Because he's going to probably try and build up the fight, and he might try and get under your skin. Are you one of those guys that has to kind of flip that switch, or are you just kind of cool?
No one will hurt my feelings in this life more than my mother did as a child. Like I promise you, like my mom was scathing. So like, I don't need to flip a switch. Like no one's gonna get under my skin. Like dude, I grew up in a household to where like we would like savage each other. So like, there's no switch. I would fight you guys right now if they paid me. Like I love you to death. I'd fight you right now if they paid me. It's
you
nothing.
Take him first though, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like whoever signs the check first. Like the thing is, I always tell people this about fighting. So when you fight, some people have to be angry. And the people that have to fight, you have to be angry to fight. You either have some unresolved trauma that you should seek help for, or you're very early in your career. Like for me, like, nah, man, I could fight anyone in this room right now if you sign the check. Like I'll be the nicest dude to you beforehand. I'll probably be nice in the fight, but I'm still going to try to beat you. Like I just like fighting. It's nothing personal. It's nothing emotional. Like, nah, I could fight all of you guys. I could fight Jacob. He freaking my friend. They're like, hey, you're fighting. Yeah. Then you're fighting Jacob. Like, yeah, I fight Jacob. Like, yeah.
The other Jacob stitched around.
Yeah. I'm not fighting Stitch. Stitch has very large hands with big knuckles. So like, it makes me nervous about like what he's done. So like, I peeped that. Like, nah, I saw that right away.
Hey, there's 7 of us in the room. Can you beat us all up, or you think we'd take you?
I would try if the money was there. I'd do it. Like, yeah, fine. But I'm telling you, you guys don't get exactly what I would do for check paychecks. Like, I am that guy, man. Like, you say like fight a bear. I'm like, what's it pay? Like, I'm just that guy.
Hey, but take us behind like the locker room or whatever. Does this Costa thing have anything to do with Strickland just fought him? Maybe just a simple comment like, bro, you could take him, or like, how does that work? Why the interest there?
So I cornered Sean in that fight. Like, and when he took that fight, I freaking like, I probably have it on my phone somewhere. I literally went back, watched all the Strickland, all the Costa fights, and I had like a freaking 4-page bulletin report of what to do. I'm that guy. Sean doesn't watch fights. He'll watch something once and be whatever. So Danny Davis is one of his pad guy, one of the guy I works with a lot. And I put together like a 4-page like bullet point of like everything that Costa does, when he does it, why I think he does it. Talked to Danny about it. We kind of like, and, Danny built Sean's game plan, kind of partially using that as a reference. So I just think it's a fight that I match up well with. Like I think Costa's usually been a really fun guy to watch, but the Strickland fight's just weird for him because Sean's just a weird guy to fight. And it's hard to like have that fight. But I think me and Costa, I think we can just sit there and beat on each other until somebody falls. And I'm okay with that. Like Sean doesn't want to fight that way. Like, Sean with his head bust in. I will gladly stand in front of you and we will just swing at each other until the bell rings or something happens. So I would love to.
Chris, that mentality, we've always known you as an anytime, any place, anywhere, that type of guy. But the injury,
except Alex Pereira, I said no to that.
There you go.
I was like, no.
But the injury, like, did that change anything? Because you fight very regularly. That's a lot of training camps. We feel like you don't really do training camps. You're just always in the gym. Did the injury maybe change your mindset at all?
It's the mindset change. I don't know. It's been hard. I'm not used to not being in the gym. And it's just weird because it's not even like, oh, like I had the injury happen, now I'm out. Before the fight happened, I was kind of like out of the gym for a little bit because like, okay, I'm gonna have a newborn. I want to spend time with my family and whatnot. So I kind of like working on backing myself away. Then I had that fight, and then now I was just out for weeks. So that was hard for me. The only real thing that changed is that now I feel like I lost 6-7 months, and that's really hard for me. I just turned 37 Monday, so I say I've got like 3 good years left in this sport. If I'm lucky, and it's really hard to sit out and not be able to train because you feel like every day you're not in the gym, I'm not getting better. The next guy I'm fighting is passing me up more and more. I've kind of had that mentality for the last 15, 16 years as a professional. So that's been really, really hard. But, they've been really adamant about, all my PTs been adamant about me not rushing back in. We've had so many fans reach out like, hey man, I play from different sports, had hamstring injuries, know that like this is something that you re-aggravate quickly. So many fans telling me, hey, you feel better before you are better. PT saying the same thing. So the biggest mindset change is for the first time in my life, I'm having to like be patient, which is hard for me.
Plus, sometimes the division can shake itself out even while you sit out, and you don't really lose much. You know what I'm saying?
Middleweight's weird. I don't care. I just want to fight people. Like I just want to fight. I just want to fight. I just want to see how high I can go. So I don't care, man. This division's really weird. Like it's on fire half the time. And now like Izzy and Drickus are fighting, but there's like the top 5 is just so jacked up anyway. So it doesn't affect my life at all. Like I'm not top 5 right now.
You and Sean would fight each other, 10. Right?
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Like, yeah, in a heartbeat. I was going to fight with him like a week ago. Like, yeah, it's fine. Like
at the gym.
Yeah, it'd be a thing. Yeah, it's just a thing. But
or outside of Jack in the Box, or
yeah,
was it's just
a thing. We're going to fight the gym. It happens. But yeah,
did
man.
They have to break you guys up, or did you guys laugh it off? Like,
no, we didn't get broken up. We have very different opinions on many things, and like me training things, we're always at each other's throats. It happens.
I'm glad you brought up the fans because sometimes you have a love-hate, but it seems like as of late they're coming to they got your back. They're giving you feedback on the similar injury. That's good to hear.
It was really cool to see like the outpouring of support and whatnot, and it's just. Me and the fans have had a very interesting take. I think for me too, especially like the fact that I got here so late and I always wanted to be here for so long. It's really hard to have like that have that much. I was never really that well known, so I never had time early in my career to get used to like the sheer influx of criticism that you're going to get. And like sometimes it's constructive, 95% of just people being assholes, but like just not used to it if you haven't been there. So like to suddenly go from like unknown to like having the entire world pour on you when you mess up was really hard for me to adjust to. I think I kind of got adjusted to it. I've kind of learned to kind of let it slide off and like just doesn't bother me anymore. And once that happens, you kind of start to see like all the fans that genuinely like are excited for you and they care and whatnot. So that's been really cool. So you kind of like, I've had fans get on me too, like, hey man, learn to focus on the people that support you and the guys that love you. So the guys
I told you that once.
You have, and the fans
just
have.
Go past the
haters. I've learned to kind of like, celebrate the people who are happy to see you and kind of ignore everybody else.
Another
and,
thing
like, life is way better.
you do too is you mentioned it. We don't dabble in this conversation too much, but politics. You seem to do it and then respectful, and then you get out, and I commend you for that, man. It's not easy to go out there, especially in this sport,
Weirdest thing about politics. So I had a on my Twitter, like somebody had a message, and because I posted a video of me and Baby Bear rocking out, and somebody was like, "It's so weird that somebody who you agree with." He's like, I find it so wholesome but strange because I agree with everything you stand for. And I told him like, "Hey man, like." I'll never hate you for for believing something and doing what's best for you. Like feeling someone or something is best for you. I'll never hate you for that. I can disagree with you on everything in politics, but I'm never going to let my political beliefs make me hate you.
Yeah.
Like not unless you're actively like calling for another war or whatnot. Like you'd have to be pretty bad for me to be like, okay, man, like we can't talk. But like, no, like I've got a lot of fans who believe completely the opposite of everything. I've had so many conversations in my inbox, whatnot. I've had people in my inbox telling me they hate me, blah, 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 you suck, about your politics. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. And I can have a conversation with you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm never going to come on your page and yell like, no, we've got so many things in the world going on right now that there's no way my support for any person who is running for public office is going to make me hate you as a person. Like, no, we're in the same team. Like, we're like everyone not in politics. We're on a team. Like, we have different opinions, but we're in the same thing. Like, I'm not going to hate you to support somebody else. Like, absolutely not.
Cody Stamen, same thing. He was having a conversation and they disagreed, and he said, "Thanks for keeping it respectful," and everyone moved on. I was like, God, can't we just have more of those?
Yeah, there's
exchanges, and then all right, you go your way, I go my way, and let's talk MMA. And
that's
the
it. Yeah, like there's like we got more. People will say I'm wrong, but I'll say this: as human beings, especially as Americans, we've got more in common than we have, differences.
Yeah,
and I think we just let those few differences become such glaring issues and talking points that it blinds us from the fact that, we're 90% getting, we have the same interests and beliefs and hopes and whatever, but we let those little things get in the way. And it's stupid, man. Like, and when we let that division happen for so long, like weird stuff starts happening in the world. I don't believe it. Like, I don't want to be a part of it. Like, like I said, I'm never going to hate you for what you believe.
Last question for me. Do you ever want to mix it up with the Jake Pauls and the Darren Tills, Diaz and Masvidal, that world, just throwing hands in the squared circle, sweet science boxing?
I would love to box. Like, it's man. The unfortunate part is, like, by the time I'm probably done in MMA, I'll probably be 40, so I'm definitely gonna be like past my prime in boxing. But I would love to be.
Tyson's gonna get down. He's 59.
He almost had a heart attack in an airport. Like,
that's
Jake,
true.
like, oh man. I would love to fight Jake Paul just because you're trying to fight a 60-year-old man. And I'm like, what is this? Come on, like, guys. He literally is like Tyson has like ulcers. He can really like. I'm like, come on, guys. He's a legend, but like legends have times. Let it go. But nah, man, I would love to box. I would freaking love to box. Like, maybe I will. We're talking about bare knuckle, which scares me because I cut a lot and my hands break like kindling all the time, so that scares me. But I don't know, man. I would love to get into boxing, kickboxing, maybe when I'm done, just to stay busy and sacrifice the rest of my brain cells.
I think you do good. All right, goes anything to wrap up?
To wrap up, only because it's bothering me. So you would fight George and I, despite you loving us.
Yes.
But what is that price? Because is it like somebody puts $100 in front of you? How much do they have to put in front of you for you to beat us up?
Okay, so we're gonna break this down
It's
as
a little
businessmen.
more, right?
No. So it would be a decent payday. Not only would I want decent money, but I would make sure that you were being like, I wouldn't do it unless you were being paid very well for this as well. So I wouldn't cripple you for nothing.
Okay.
Like, no, that's like I love you guys, but they're like $1 million. I would shatter you like waves against the rocks.
But
I would make sure you were paid as well.
500,000, no, right?
Who's getting five? Are we all getting
Yeah.
500,000?
Just get guillotined? Why do I have to get knocked out or knocked together?
I have 3 submission wins to my credit. 2 of those are from strikes. I don't really submit things, and we got put on a show. What if we all got 500,000?
Do you work on your jiu-jitsu, by the way?
I do. I grapple a lot. I just prefer to hit things. My favorite submission are punches. Like it's funny because people are like, "You're not a bad grappler at all." Like, I've got great submission defense. I can submit, but I just prefer to punch things. It just seems more natural.
You want to hear one thing that does bother me even more?
What?
You did a watch along with us one time.
Yes.
You did something completely amazing that to this day we still have not asked you about. You gave us a head nod that kind of gave us the answer to it. You sat right next to me.
Slices of pizza he had in 5 minutes?
It was that too. You were sitting right next to me. You drank 2 Diet Pepsis, okay, or Diet Cokes. And at one point, you pulled out a thing of Mentos. All right? When you pulled it out, John Orlando, who was sitting in front of you,
No.
we locked eyes and we went, doesn't that mean he's going to explode or something?
Yeah.
You popped it in and we just stared at you and you went through the whole roll of Mentos. So you had 2 Diet Cokes in there and a whole roll of Mentos. How did you not explode?
So there's a reason behind that, guys. So especially if I'm out in public and I can't eat a bunch, I say I'm cutting weight or whatnot, but like I'm around food and I want to eat more, to get rid of that desire to eat, if you take some Mentos and you drink a Coke, it'll swell in your stomach. So it'll make you feel way more full than you are.
Okay.
So like that way, I'm okay. Like say I can have like a piece of pizza, but I know I'm gonna want more. Eat pizza, take a Mentos, drink some Coke or whatever. It'll swell up. You feel way more full than you are. You're less likely to eat more. I've been like battling the scales for like 15 years. I have found all of the tricks.
Amazing stuff. I
Yeah.
never knew that one.
I'm not insane. There's method behind the madness. I promise you.
Dude,
It's just
over
like, are you
that
gonna
massive.
blow this up? Like, no. It's a weight cutting trick.
Got it. All right. Well, so 2024, you think you will fight though, right?
I'm hoping for 2 more fights this year.
Paulo Costa. Who's the other one?
I don't know. Whoever they pay me to fight, I am that guy.
You don't
Might
want
be
to. You don't want to settle an old B for nothing like that, or run one back.
Honestly, they should probably like force Kelvin out of 170 because he can't make the weight,
Okay,
you know,
that's a
missing
good
weight and
one.
all
Run
of
it back,
that.
yeah.
Like, so I would love to run that one back just because, like, Kelvin.
Thanks for the time, Chris. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you guys for
It's
having me,
always
seriously.
a blast catching up with you. We're happy to hear that you're on the road to feeling so good that you'll fight
I
twice.
shall
in
return.
2024.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
All right. Take care, man.
Thanks, guys.
And that's us wrapping up here at SEICon in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotel. It's been a blast. We caught up with Mark Ratner, Stitch Duran, Misha Tate, Chris Curtis. And yeah, we can't wait to do the next one, goes. Good times here.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're out of here.